Louisiana Tech is a team that could take a step forward in 2023 with the talent they gathered from the transfer portal and some of the talent returning. It's going to be exciting to see what the Bulldogs do this year. And we're going to take a look at the top 10 players that you need to watch for this squad. Number one is going to be Hank BACHMEIER, the Boise State transfer, has a ton of potential if he can stay healthy and if he can stay upright. I think that he's coming into a Sonny Cumbie system that will allow him to get the football out a little bit quicker than we've seen in the past, and that's going to be good for them. It's going to be huge for BACHMEIER, and it's going to be huge for the Bulldogs. He has plenty of experience, like I said, 41 touchdowns in his career, and he is one of the most poised quarterbacks you will find in college football, maybe ever in college football. He's a player who is extremely talented. Obviously, both sides needed a change in terms of Boise State and BACHMEIER. I think he's going to be really good in this system, and with the talent they have at the skill positions, watch out for this group in 2023. A player who broke out last year was running back MARQUIS CROSBY, 918 yards, 5 yards per carry, 9 touchdowns. He returns to give the Bulldogs a formidable rushing attack. And there's a couple guys we'll talk about outside of him. He is someone who has big playability. It's going to be fun to see how they get him maybe more involved in the passing attack as well. But this is someone who is a reliable player to make this offense a little bit more balanced. They're going to want to pass the ball a lot, but running the ball is important, and they have a guy that can make that happen. One of the best names in college football is Smoke Harris, and he has the game to back it up. He's a first team All Conference USA selection in 2022, second team in 2021. He does a little bit of everything for this offense and for special teams. He averaged 27.2 yards per kick return, an explosive playmaker who maybe was recognized more for his kick returning last year, but he is someone that the offense can utilize a lot, someone that can be given the football and expected to do big things, and he's going to deliver on that. And he is someone to definitely keep an eye out for if you're a defensive coordinator in this conference. The guy I think that is a great addition for Louisiana Tech was Craig Squirrel Williams from Baylor, a guy who rushed for 557 yards last year, averaged 5.5 yards per carry. I don't think that he's scratched the surface of what he can do, and this is why I'm excited for this rushing attack. This is a group that's going to be deep and a group that's super talented. Now, Williams still hasn't arrived on campus yet, but it's going to be fun to see what he does when he can get into this offense. A player with extremely explosive potential, and we've seen explosive production as well, is Cyrus Allen. He only had 22 catches, but he took those 22 catches to put it into 500 yards, 22.7 yards per catch, an explosive playmaker at his core. He is an exceptional player when it comes to getting explosive plays, and it's going to be fun to see how Sonny Cumbie utilizes him even more. When you look at that production, over 20 yards per catch is something that you want to take advantage of, and Cyrus Allen showed that he can be a big-time player and should show that again this year. The biggest thing for Louisiana Tech is going to be figuring out how to get their defense to play on the same level as the offense. Now, that might not be possible, but when you look at what this group can do, any improvement on the defensive side of the ball is going to be huge. And Willie Roberts plays a huge role in that. Now, the defense, you could say that their passing defense was better than the rushing defense, but it still wasn't great. This is a guy who can make that happen. I think that he has big play potential, 4 interceptions last year. And if you can get this group to play better, then this team is a contender in Conference USA. The final part of that trio of running backs is Charvis Thornton, another player that can give them big play potential. 5.8 yards per carry in limited action. Did have 80 carries, so he used a decent amount. But this is someone who can give them quality depth. Now, if one of Crosby or Williams doesn't work out, then you have a guy like Thornton waiting that can get into the mix and maybe even give you that relief that you really need when things aren't going your way. A player to keep an eye on who has good size is CECIL Singleton Jr., 6'2", 207 pounds. We talk about in the NFL draft, you're looking for players that have good size. He is one of those playmakers. And you look at his production from last year, and I think you're looking at someone who can get even better. 5 passes defended, 1 interception, 56 tackles. This guy does a little bit of everything, and it's going to be fun to see how he elevates his game and how that helps this defense as a whole this year. Someone who's going to be in the spotlight, maybe not as much for positive reasons, but if you're going to take a look at a guy who might get criticized, Carson BRUNO is going to be in that spotlight. And some of that is unfair because of the nature of the offensive line, but he is going to be responsible for helping Hank BACHMEIER have his success, to help Hank BACHMEIER stay upright. Now, he is an honorable mention All Conference USA selection from last year, so he has the talent to be able to do that. But keep an eye on this offensive line and what they're able to do. It's going to be fun because they have quite a bit of talent returning to make that happen. And the final player to keep an eye on is DECOLDEST CRAWFORD, one of the better names in college football, transfers in from Nebraska. A lot of exciting potential. We haven't seen what he can do on the field, but I think that you're going to see that he has a lot of exciting playmaking ability, and this is an offense that's loaded with that talent, and he can be another guy. Louisiana Tech, really, really good in terms of potential this year. I don't know what's going to happen in Conference USA, but I know this team has the chance to be a contender. I think that they can take that step forward. Sonny Cumbie obviously has to fix some things, and defensively, that's probably going to be the biggest area of concern. But this offense has plenty of potential to make up for it. I really like what I see from this team. It's going to be an improved team from last year, and it's just a matter of how high do they rise in 2023.